welding shop for almost 30 years, so he was used to people coming in and out of his farm shop. Unfortunately for Stephen, this open door policy backfired.
Well, I guess I didn't really realize I was missing tools until down the road a ways. Most of the tools that were stored on my shop were ones that were magnetic drill presses, portable generators, welders that we don't use every day. And as the time passed on, I noticed I lost the generator. I couldn't find it. Then I noticed the magnetic drill press, and then I found that battery charges were gone and drills. And that's when we started accumulating that we'd had a theft problem here on the farm. It was approximately $6,000 to $7,000 worth of tools. I mean, a portable welder don't take long to add up $2,500 there, and magnetic drill press another $2,500 in your other tools.
That incident back in 2012 prompted Stephen to put his farm on lockdown, adding lights, locks, and most importantly, video cameras. He went through multiple video systems before finding OnSite 24/7. While OnSite is the most expensive option, Stephen believes the features, service, and durability make up for the extra cost.
Well, I started with the basic ones off Amazon or out of the catalogs, the analog systems, and set them up, and they didn't have a good picture and whatnot. And so then I went to there. I thought I'll get a better quality one. Well, there's one out of New York City. I went and ordered that one up, and it was a lot better system. It was a couple $1,500, $2,000, made out of poor quality equipment. It just didn't last. So then one time at State Fair a couple years ago, I run into Brian on there, and this is all new digital systems where you got a lot of vivid pictures and stuff. And I said, well, let's look at a system, see what we can try. So that's how I got connected up with Brian, man. And then he came and put up the first system, and we've been sold on it, got it right on our cell phone. Service has been excellent. Called down here for the problem. Boom, we got her solved in no time. So that's kind of the reason I went from the Evolution up. After I found him, I threw all the old systems out in the junk. They just didn't do the quality that I needed with this system.
Unlike most video surveillance companies, OnSite is based in the Midwest and works almost exclusively with farmers.
You know, when you talk about agriculture, there's needs to put cameras, and you know, when you look at the farms, you know, they're spread out. There may be a farm here and another farm quarter mile away, and so you know, to be able to put cameras in, we had to find a wireless solution because you can't trench the wire to make that connection. So we got into wireless right away, and so what we've had to do and what we've had to innovate, you know, with the wireless. And the other thing is, you know, when we look at some of the things in agriculture, it's a very hostile environment. And so the cameras inside of a finishing facility for pork industry or inside the calving barn, that's a rough environment to be because you got temperature extremes, you got humidity extremes, you got all this going on. What makes us different is the fact that every camera that we install, we maintain. And really it's a health monitor. So every camera reports back to my office, and we're located in Mitchell, South Dakota. If a camera goes down, we get an alert. And from that alert, we actually then reach out to the farmer and say, it appears that this camera isn't working. With your permission, we'd like to jump onto the internet, take a look at the camera, reboot it if need be, and at that point get the camera and system back up and going. So what really makes us different in our niche is really about the service side. And that is anybody can install a camera for you. You can buy a camera off the internet, but to ensure that it's up and running and well maintained, it needs somebody to be working on it and looking at it from a health perspective constantly.
The highest tech solution Brian offers is called the PowerTrack 360. Like all of the OnSite cameras, you can remotely view the camera feed from a smartphone or a tablet. But that isn't what makes the PowerTrack Brian's favorite camera.
We've installed hundreds of those cameras, and you know, a couple of years ago, the camera was designed to actually track objects, and it worked great. But there was a downside to that. That is, on a farm, there's lots of motion, and so if I happen to install that camera in a feedlot or somewhere where there happens to be a lot of vegetation, the camera will actually chase off onto the vegetation. Well, we actually have a software upgrade, and as part of working with us and the maintenance of these cameras, if we actually apply the tripwire technology to these cameras now, where it can be very, very precise. And so, you know, say for instance, if I have the camera located on a utility pole and it's watching a couple of entrances, I can draw that virtual wire, and if anything happens on the inside of it, it won't move. It's still it's waiting for something to go across those wires, and once they do, the camera centers, zooms, and acquires that object. So it's much more precise. It doesn't get distracted by the other motions, and that's the biggest key to the new PowerTrack. Plus, one other thing is, you know, we do have the capability now, and in the past, to get an alert, and that is if somebody crosses that wire, and if I were to write within our software, if anyone comes across that wire from o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, send me an email with a picture of what it saw. And the key to that then is I'm driving throughout the day, I'm not getting emails, but at night when there shouldn't be any traffic at all, I would be alerted, I would see a picture, and at that point it would prompt me to take a look at the system. This car looks a little weird, you know, it's a vehicle that I don't recognize. Then you start to do your due diligence in regards to investigation. We've got stationary cameras or fixed cameras where they just look one direction, and then we got the cameras that can rotate and zoom and track. So a standard camera in itself as a kit, one camera, two cameras, you're probably looking at around $1,500 to $1,700. If you're looking for something that's got you know, the capability of tracking and the ability to move the camera from my phone and those types of capabilities, you're looking at around $3,500 to $4,000 for that system. So a camera with the wireless, the recording device, and all the cable to put it together.
In certain circumstances, a video surveillance system may not be the right solution for your farm security. That's what Brian McKenzie discovered as he unsuccessfully tried to stop persistent copper thieves. As